Damage rotations are an important stepladder in the process of becoming a more proficient endgame player, and there really isn't a damage rotation that's as bread and butter as Izanagi Rocket. So, today I'm going to teach you how to perform the rotation in 3 separate levels, with each level increasing in mechanical difficulty, but also effective DPS. So, let's start with the basics, which includes Izanagi's Burden and a rocket launcher with auto-loading holster. Before we get into it, these rotations involve honing your Izzy quite often, and there's a trick you can do to perform a frame-perfect hone after shooting, which is done by simply holding your reload key as you shoot. The sequence of inputs for your bog standard Izzy rocket are as follows. Hone your Izzy before damage, shoot Izzy and re-hone it. It's around this point in the animation you can swap to your rocket and fire it. Swap back to Izzy and repeat. With non-enhanced autoloading, you have to wait a split second when rehoning your Izzy, because if you don't, your rocket won't be autoloaded in time when swapping. But if you're using a crafted rocket with enhanced autoloading, the timing is slightly more forgiving. Damage-wise, with just well and surges plus an autoloading explosive like Hothead, you're looking at around 1.7 million damage on Greg. The next level up is swapping Izanagi's Burden and a Reconstruction rocket. Reconstruction rotations are slightly different because Reconstruction reloads your rocket slower than autoloading does. Specifically, autoloading takes 2.5 seconds or 2.3 when enhanced, and Reconstruction takes 4 seconds or 3.5 when enhanced. What this means is you can't simply swap directly from Izzy to your rocket, you need to fill out the wait time by incorporating a third weapon in your energy slot. The options to choose from here are generally an autoloading breach GL, a slug shotgun, or a rapid fire fusion rifle. Putting it all together, a Reconstruction rotation works as follows. Shoot Izzy and re-hone it. Swap to energy weapon and shoot 1 shot, swap to rocket and fire 1 shot or 2 if available, and swap back to Izzy and repeat. Damage-wise, with just well and surges plus a Reconstruction bait and switch Apex Predator, you're again looking at around 1.7 million damage on Greg. The third tier of Izzy Rocket, and arguably the hardest rotation, is known as Grapple swapping and is entirely restricted to Strand Warlock. Grapple swapping takes advantage of Thread of Ascent and Thread of Generation, 2 Strand fragments that reload your currently equipped weapon when using your grenade and refill your grenade energy based on the damage you deal. You can use this in combination with the previous Reconstruction rotation to fire an extra rocket every time you swap to it. The sequence of inputs is similar to the previous, with a little extra work needed when swapping to your rocket. Melee, then shoot Izzy and re-hone it. The reason for the melee here is to proc the Unravel debuff for the entire fight. Swap to energy weapon and shoot 1 shot, swap to rocket and fire 1 shot or 2 if available, grapple the floor and immediately fire another rocket, super, swap to Izzy and repeat. Another key thing to mention is that in order to have a grapple charge available in each cycle, you must have someone on your team running Galahorn to grant you Wolfpack rounds, otherwise you don't deal enough continuous damage to refresh it, unless you fire more fusion shots mid-rotation or use Witherhoard, but more on this later. If you're looking to boost your damage even further, you can combine the grapple rotation with Necrotic Grips by adding in a melee ability at the end of each cycle. Damage-wise, with Galahorn, Well, Necrotics, and Surges plus Apex Predator, you're looking at around 3.1 million damage on Greg. Now I know that this video is about Izzy Rocket, but you can also freely substitute Izzy for Witherhoard, in which case you don't need Galahorn to fully regenerate your grenade, but you will have to fire 3 fusion shots instead of just the 1. So there we have it. I hope you learned something from today's video and you're taking the first steps to becoming a DPS demon. One more thing, I have just released the membership section of the channel, so if you like what I do and want to see more of it, consider becoming a member and get yourself a host of cool perks along with it. I also want to give a big shout out to these members here for being the first ones to join. Thank you guys. Anyway, that's all for today. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now, dear viewer.